Thanks, Rich.
Well, that's nice. And music is art. Like I say, that music is art thing's been going on for a long time now.
It's very cool, and Rich is getting us a real good time slot for that. And Robbie, you know, we've worked it out with Robbie, so it's going to be a really good show.
Do you remember all the stuffed shirts at the what is that thing that goes on in Delaware, that ridiculously overpriced art show? What do they call it?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Allentown Art Festival.
Yeah, exactly. The Allentown Art Festival.
Yeah,
Remember when
yeah.
he was on? I think it was Franklin.
Yep.
And he used to do it
over
there.
there, yeah.
And they're like, no.
Yeah, because you know why? Because everybody took away from them because everybody wanted to go see Robbie and what was happening with him.
Yeah.
And which was rightfully so.
Absolutely.
Because he's giving back to the community.
Yeah, and at that point it was like the height of their superstardom. And this cat's back home doing what?
Robbie's so cool. Like
Exactly.
He's the type of guy that if he walks down the street, he'll stop and like 50 people take pictures with him.
Yeah.
You know, that's the kind of guy he is.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
I mean,
He's
like,
a cool guy.
like I say, that the fact that the Allentown crowd at that time, I think they've probably chilled out a little bit now.
Oh, I don't know.
But at that time, that you don't really see a value in this. Are you kidding me?
Right.
You know?
That's it.
You really can't see a value in what's going on here.
You're right.
You know? I mean, it's just and it seemed like he's always for a guy who's always had his heart with Buffalo's been in his heart since the beginning.
Absolutely.
He's really had a lot of opposition. It seems like.
Buffalo's a weird city, man.
It is a weird city. I agree.
As far as it's what's that saying? It's tough to be the rock star in your own city, and it is. It's true.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, and Buffalo's got there's a lot of forces at play. There's a lot of nostalgia forces at play, and there's a lot of they don't like change, and the Allentown Art Festival's been going on for 3 million years, since Jesus walked the earth, and oh no, we don't want Robbie's thing going on, It's just,
well, that's it.
They don't like change at all. Yeah, I don't like change. I'm from Buffalo. I can't stand change.
Well, that's why.
Exactly. So I shouldn't be mocking them.
You're right.
I really shouldn't. So
why do you think I write songs that sound like they're from '85?
Exactly.
I can't change, man.
But that's the thing too, though. And I want to say this. I can't stress this enough.
Right.
This does not sound like a dated CD.
It doesn't.
This doesn't sound like, and there's
I'm
all
singing a bit because I mean that's how I sing. I'm singing with that Robert Zander kind of Steven Tyler, Phil Nero kind of vibe. But but the music I think is very modern
and
kind of.
The production's modern, the songwriting's modern. I mean, it's no different than playing recording a country CD.
Country.
Yeah, country CDs don't sound like Waylon Jennings.
You're right.
You know what I mean? I mean, but they're still country. This is rock and roll with an '80s feel.
Well, because I sing so higher, and I sing with that '80s swagger, I guess.
Yeah.
That's just the way I sing. And I try to sound not like that, but it's just the way I sing. And then I gave up on trying to sound like something I'm not a long time ago.
Right.
I said, this is the way I sing, and take it or leave it.
It's funny too because when you're and I just had this conversation with a keyboard player. When you are a singer and you're an artist or a musician or whatever, you're almost berated for taking a little musical license with somebody's cover. Who are you to even think that you can take an Elvis song and sing it your way?
Right.
Or whatever. Where when you're someone like yourself who's really more of an artist than just an entertainer,
sure.
It's in your nature to do that. I mean, you're not showing disrespect by doing it. You're just as I hit the mic with your CD.
Thanks.
No problem. It really held up well. That's what I mean. This packaging
well,
is
that's another
phenomenal.
thing. These are
this is good.
You drive a truck over these packaging. That's how good.
Let's try it again. Oh yeah, works good.
See, like when I do covers, like I'm in my cover band, Hair Nation, which is a phenomenal band. I love playing with those guys, and
Hair Nation's a fun band too. It's a really fun band.
We have a great time. Great band.
I mean, if you want to hold on to the '80s or relive the '80s, that's the band.
Me, Chris Daly, Jay Sanchez, and Colleen Mastrocovo on drums. Cool band. We have a great following, great time. But I don't sing those songs like if I'm doing an Aerosmith song. I don't try and sound like that. I just sound like me doing a cover song. And I've always thought that if you're in a cover band, it's cool to be in a cover band. Is cool because it is fun watching bands play songs that you know. And you're familiar with. Do them. You sound like your own way. And Talus used to always do that. When Phil was in Talus, I thought that was super cool. They did a lot of covers, but they did them their own way.
Yeah, exactly.
And I always thought, man, if I ever was in a cover band again, that's how I would do it, and that's what I do.
Yeah, and you can kind of make the song your own, and it's fun.
If I got a Motley Crue song, I'm singing it kind of Jim Crean doing Motley Crue.
What were your influences when you were a kid? I mean, is Steven Tyler, stuff like that?
Absolutely. Steven Tyler, Robin
Which
Zander.
version of Steven Tyler?
It's 70 cracked out Steven Tyler.
Yeah, exactly.
70 drugged out.
Do you think that his voice was it's almost like two separate people. I think
The 80s,
Permanent Vacation brought us a new Steven Tyler.
well, a better singer in the 80s, but a way cooler guy, way better vibe, way better songwriter in the 70s.
Do you think he was a better singer? I mean, I
In
guess
the 80s,
more
sure.
trained. I guess as far as
we all
I
are.
love the voice from the
70s,
Yeah,
it was
I
just
love that
raw
voice.
and feel and just, but you can get away with it back then.
Yeah.
In the 80s, it was more processed,
No, agreed.
So,
Well, it's funny too because we've had this conversation. Speaking of this, when it all started, I mean, going back 65, 67, 69, 70, Robert Plant, in my opinion, is a perfect example of this.
yeah.
He blew his voice out by Zeppelin too.
Sure.
But they didn't know anything about vocal coaches or
just went up and did it.
Yeah. Now Ozzy has vocal coaches.
Sure.
I mean, the guys that made it had lasted.
Guys
long
were
enough.
struggling, just kept plugging away.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't know anything. That's something opera guys did. Rock and roll guys don't do that
Right,
stuff,
right.
So where it'd be wild to see where these guys would have been if they would have been treated like the opera singer was back then, or or the country singer even.
You're right.
They just didn't know enough, and they just pounded themselves.
I could still hit the high notes because I never smoked. I hardly drank. I tried staying away from all that stuff, and that really kept me in the game.
Absolutely.
It kept me in the game. But back to my influence, I'd say Steven Tyler for sure. Robin Zander. I don't know if anybody knows who Frank Domino is. He used to be an Angel. Remember him?
I do. I remember the band Angel.
I love them. And Phil Nero from Talus. He was a big influence on me vocally. I think he's got one of the better voices on the planet.
Well, and that's cool that you got to work with him.
It was
It's
the
awesome.
biggest honor, and I was like one of my best friends. So that was even cooler. So,
Yeah, well, that's
we
even
became
better.
friends for 30-some years. So
Well, that's really cool,
Very
though, that
cool.
he was an influence, somebody that you can honestly say, when I'm naming 4 influences, he's one of them.
here's one of those things where we used to open up for back Talus and all that in the day, and Phil was one of those guys that I always thought, wow, Talus, these guys are big rock stars, and he was one of those guys that just took me under his wing.
That's good.
And it's very cool, and
Well,
he stayed with me all along. So
We're going to take a small commercial break, and we're going to be joined by Phil.
I think that's great.
Stick around, folks. More Heard It on the X.